Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you have been here before. If you've been here before, you may have seen the Faber Castell 9000 graphite pencil review video that I did, I think a month ago or a few weeks ago. And that video actually did pretty well, so I figured review videos might be kind of helpful for you guys. So I decided today I'm going to be doing a Faber Castell Polychromos colored pencil review. If you're thinking about buying this set, or you are thinking about choosing what kind of colored pencil set you'd like to buy, then this video might be helpful for you. Here are the pencils. I have them in a pencil holder because I don't have the original case. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about with these pencils before we get into more details, the price point, which is really important for most people. So these are kind of pricier pencils. They're on the more expensive side, and in the art world, there's a lot of supplies that are considered expensive, and these are by no means the most expensive colored pencils you can get. But for someone who's new to colored pencil, or for someone who's on a budget, these are definitely kind of pricey. If you want to get the 120 set, which you don't need, but that's the largest set that they offer, it would be about $200 on Amazon or $164 on the Blick website, which I checked, and that's currently as of August 2020, so that might fluctuate a bit. Now that we've talked about the price, let's go to my overhead desk view. Okay, so I went ahead and picked out some random colors so that we can talk about the physical traits. So the barrel is round like this. The back is protected, so you can see that the casing back here, it's not like the Prismacolor where you can see the inside of the lead or anything. The lead itself is a hard lead because these are oil-based pencils and not wax-based pencils. So what that means is if you sharpen it, it's not going to become blunt or lose its point as quickly as, let's say, a Prismacolor would, because these are a little bit harder of a lead. It also means these are not very likely to break, just because the lead is pretty sturdy and strong. So you won't have an issue with pencil breakage if that's something that you are worried about. I love this light red violet color so much. Okay, so on to the next thing. You can see that over here the name of the color is printed, the number associated with the color, and then also there is a Lightfastness rating, which we will talk about more when I get to that portion of the video. Next point I want to talk about is a really important point to me, and that is the color range. Polychromos pencils come in 120 colors. That's the largest set that you can buy. I don't have that entire set, by the way. All of those blank squares on my color chart are pencils I don't have, so I have most of them, not all of them. So let's talk about some pros and cons for the colors now. Since we already know the colors are going to be beautiful, I just want to talk about pros and cons. So one of the biggest pros for me, this set actually has recognizable colors. Chromium green opaque, Delft blue, phthalo blue, leaf green, madder, let's see what else, dark cadmium orange, cadmium yellow, burnt ochre, just burnt sienna, just examples like that. So most, if not all, of the colors are recognizable, and they're not just completely random. You know what color you're getting by reading the name of the color if you have knowledge or you're familiar with color names. So as you can see, there are a lot of beautiful greens and blues and reds and oranges and yellows, and a lot of beautiful colors if you're doing wildlife or landscapes and things like that. So you don't have to worry about any shortage if that is what you are doing. Those colors are, you know, just abundant. They have a ton of options. Another pro is a pretty good range of grays. I believe there are 13 gray tones. They do offer silver, gold, and copper, which I can't comment on because I don't have those, so I don't know how good those are, but they do offer that. Another pro is they have a really good range of browns. If you are doing portraits or even just wildlife or anything, they have a ton of brown tones. You won't have any trouble with that. You can also use these for the medium to darker skin tones. However, when it comes to the lighter skin tones or skin tones, that is where I would say there is a con in this set. They could use more of a range of skin tones the way that the Caran d'Ache Luminance or the Prismacolor has. And I feel that a lot of the skin tones, especially the light to medium ones, have more of a pinkish undertone or a peach undertone. Now I know there would be some people very interested in the white and black pencil, so let's talk about the pros and cons of the white and black pencil. Pros, well, I would say the pro is the black pencil. So the black pencil is very, very good. You can get dark color pigment, and you can also get very fine detail because it stays very sharp. So this is an amazing black pencil. I absolutely love it. And now let's talk a little bit about the cons. The con is the white pencil is not really my favorite, and the reason for that is not because it's bad, it's kind of because I got used to a white pencil being used for things like blending when I was using the Prismacolor set, so I expected naturally that I could blend with the white pencil in the Polychromos set as well, but really you can't do that very well. It's not the best pencil for blending. However, if you're just going to be using the white pencil on a colored paper, and you're just going to be using it for that, and you're not going to use it for any blending purposes or anything like that, or trying to lighten up an area a lot, then actually the white pencil is pretty decent. You can see it right there. I've swatched it next to the Prismacolor white and the Caran d'Ache Luminance white, and even a charcoal pencil. Now let's talk about Lightfastness. So I have my notes here. For those of you who are interested in learning about the Lightfastness, and if you're not, you can skip ahead to the next point, but I know that this is a big deal for a lot of people, so we're going to go over Lightfastness. In case you don't already know, Lightfastness is how resistant the pigment is to fading when it's exposed to light. This is something important if you're going to be doing commissions, if you want to hang your work up, or just in general if you want your work to kind of stand the test of time. You don't want the colors to fade and dull out over the years. The Faber Castell brand uses the star system for showing you the rating of the Lightfastness, and I have picked out a couple pencils to compare for you guys. This color right here is light magenta, and it has 1 star. So this is the lowest Lightfastness rating on this scale, which was good fade resistance, it said. Now this one is light red violet, which has 2 stars. Great Lightfastness, but not the maximum fade resistance. And then most of the pencils are a 3-star rating. So this pencil, Delft Blue, is a 3-star maximum Lightfastness rating. So I would say, in comparison to a lot of other colored pencil brands, most of the pencils, most of the colors are very light fast. If anything, if you're worried about this, you can kind of pinpoint which colors are the least light fast by going through the Faber Castell website. Now let me read the stats I found on the website for you really quickly. According to the website, 102 of the colors out of 120 are rated as maximum Lightfastness. So that's a 3-star rating, which means that they should be resistant to fade for 100+ years, which I think is a pretty good amount of time. So that means that the other 18 colors out of the 120 set might have a 2-star Lightfastness rating, which means high Lightfastness, and then the lowest rating is 1 star, and that says good Lightfastness. Okay guys, so finally the last point I'm going to talk about with the Polychromos pencils, and that is going to be how they are in use. So here's the thing, these pencils have a harder lead, but that does not mean that they're scratchy or in any way less blendable. They're actually still very like buttery and smooth. They just aren't as soft as the Prismacolors or other wax-based pencils would be. However, as you can imagine, because you can get these so very sharp and they don't get blunt very quickly, you can get a pretty high level of detail without having to constantly sharpen your pencil, which to me is a huge pro. You can add a lot of layers without getting a very apparent wax bloom. When blending skin, you kind of have to use a different technique than you would use with a wax-based pencil, because again, the white pencil is not great for blending out. You can either use a white pencil from another set, or you can just apply layer after layer and not really do a lot of like hard pressing or burnishing. If you're drawing animals, I think these are great because you can get really fine like strokes for things like fur or feathers or whatever you're doing. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using these pencils for a giant like blurry background. One more thing I want to mention is you don't really have to replace the pencils very often actually. I'm not sharpening them as much, I would say. I think maybe I've only replaced like 1 so far. And that's all I have for this video. I covered as many points as I could kind of think of that were important, but if there's something I missed, feel free to comment below and ask me. If you are new here, definitely check out some of my tutorials if you're interested in that. I have a lot of tutorials on how you can create realistic art, a lot of which I'm using colored pencil for, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and check out those videos. I think that they would also be helpful for you, or if you're interested in finding a good graphite set or you want to know about the Faber Castell 9000 set, again, I have already made a review for that as well. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, so thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys!